I'm embarrassed to tell you how much I didn't know when I was deadlifting.
And I'll say, what are your goals? Oh, I want to set a personal best in deadlift. Would you rather, as your goal, have the ability to play with your grandchildren on the floor when you're 80 and get off the floor and pick them up? Yeah, I like that goal. I said, well, you can't have both.
I'm embarrassed to tell you how much I didn't know when I was deadlifting. Yeah, I should be deadlifting my whole life. I don't need to deadlift 400 pounds anymore, but I should be deadlifting because it's this great audit. And on the days that I don't feel it, I back off. And then on the other days I say, Peter, you don't need to do this anymore because honestly, you can still get the same or nearly the same activation for all of the muscles involved using other movements, single leg movements in particular, where you don't have a fraction of the axial loading. And yeah, you might need to do 2 exercises instead of 1, but at the end of the day, there's a lower risk approach to get it. And in other words, deadlifting is valuable, but you have a narrow operating window in which you can potentially hurt yourself. So I continue to go back and forth on this, Stuart, and as such, here I am telling you, I still will go periods of my life where I'll deadlift every week, and then I'll take 3 months off feeling like I don't want to push it. How would you advise a middle-aged person or even a non-middle-aged person who's sort of thinking through this particular issue?
It's interesting when we have a back pain 50-year-old coming here and I'll say, what are your goals? Oh, I want to set a personal best in deadlift. And I said, really? Okay. Let me tell you some stories. Let's talk about Ed Cohn. Do you know Ed Cohn, the
sure do.
greatest
Yeah.
powerlifter of all time? I was with Ed a couple of weeks ago. I'll tell you a funny story about him if you like in a minute. But anyway, Ed, when he would set a personal best, he'd take a couple of months off afterwards. To set a personal best is so demanding of your body. There are actually, if you set a true personal best, most people experience microfracturing just underneath the end plate of the trabecular bone. Now, those microfractures could be a good thing or a bad thing. The professional powerlifter will take a week off. They train heavy deadlifts or squats once a week because it takes a week for the bone callus to not only attach through the chemical electro attraction, but to really scaffold on. Takes a week. If you deadlift in another 3 or 4 days, the way some trainers, they might deadlift a client 3 times a week. That allows those microfractures to accumulate until finally you've got a full-blown end plate fracture or whatnot. So these are the people that come here. And then I say, how about this for a goal? Do you have kids? Yeah. Do you have grandkids? Yeah. Would you rather, as your goal, have the ability to play with your grandchildren on the floor when you're 80 and get off the floor and pick them up? Yeah, I like that goal. I said, well, you can't have both. If you think you're going to continue having deadlift personal bests, you will not. You will have artificial hips and all of these other things, because how many old powerlifters do you know? Do you really want to be like that group of athletes? So I can talk them into changing their long-term goals. Now is the time to get on the program and make sure you get there. If that's the case, we eliminate deadlifts. Let's go get any one of our colleagues who are orthopedic surgeons. Tell us who you're replacing the hips of. Well, 50-year-old Caucasian women who have done yoga for 30 years, okay, and men around 50 who've done deadlifts all their life. Who are you not? The middle of the road moderates. Not the ones who've rusted out and not the ones who've worn out, but the ones in the middle are the ones who are. So this idea of sufficient fitness, because I still believe we are all called upon to do things in life at certain times. I hope we're all ready and able. And it's more fun, too, just to be able to continue to do those things. So I'm like you. I don't do deadlifts, but I pick up 100-pound bucked up logs as an example, big oak log. So that's my stone lift. Load that into the log splitter and still split my wood. I've people comment on my hands. This athlete who came yesterday, I shook his hand when he came to the door, and he couldn't fit his hand around mine. And he said, "Whoa!" When we were young, we didn't have dumbbells. My dad would give us a cinder block. Cinder blocks.
Yeah.
That's how you develop. Anyway, as you know, the importance of grip strength, I will take any day over how much you deadlift.
Yeah, people often ask me, Stuart, why do you think grip strength is such a great proxy for longevity? I say it's the same reason I think VO2 max is a great proxy for longevity. Those are probably the two best biomarkers we have. It sounds crazy, by the way, that your VO2 max and your grip strength are better predictors of how long you're going to live than whether or not you smoke, drink, what your family history is for cancer. Like, those things all matter, but it's amazing how dwarfed they are by those two.